Hey everybody, welcome back. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about is Google Voice. Google Voice is one of the top VoIP calling services where you get a full-fledged phone number that can be used on multiple devices. And I'm going to talk a little bit about it and also, just kind of like the evolution into it, but also some of the downsides to Google Voice and things that I think that Google should really start to implement into Google Voice. One of their long running services provided. Now, Google Voice is exactly what it is. It is a phone call and texting service by Google. And this has been around for the longest time. This was actually implemented into Gmail, at a time, eventually breaking away and kind of going on its own, while still being tied to your Google account. Now you get a full-fledged number. So basically, when you sign up for service, one of the things it's going to ask you for is, either the area code that you want, or the zip code, or the city town name, and it will generate all available numbers that you're able to use on Google Voice. It is a fantastic service, fantastic to use. And one of the big points about this is that if you have multiple devices, instead of giving people multiple phone numbers for you, you can have one number that rings on all your devices. That's the best part of Google Voice. Now, throughout time, Google Voice was evolving, and when Google developed Hangouts, which was supposed to be an all-in-one, Google Voice was actually one of the services connected to Hangouts. So if you didn't connect your carrier for carrier text messaging support, Google Voice was connected to it. So that would be the number that would be associated with the Hangouts SMS sent if you sent a text message. Of course, Hangouts died as people did not really give a chance for Google to really show what they can do with Hangouts, and instead slammed them for their lackluster user interface, which eventually just made the developers of Hangouts say, forget it. And just, they split Hangouts into two things, and those two things have evolved today into Google Chat and Google Meets, and that's what we have now. So Google Voice pretty much stands alone, and they've made some strides into making Google Voice a little bit better. While there's competition out there with Text Now and Burner and all other VoIP services, Google Voice really does sit on top of a lot of things. One of the cool things about Google Voice that I like is that there is international calling. Of course, it's a per minute rate type thing, but if you're only calling maybe like 4 or 5 times a year internationally to family, then the need for Google Fi's unlimited to 50 plus countries, it seems more better with Google Voice to just add like $10 to your account and do the per minute rate where you're talking for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe an hour. But you would be able to like at least, maximum top up $20 a year for international calling, depending on the country you're calling to and the per minute rate. So I mean Google Voice kind of like best Google Fi there for that reason. The number is full-fledged, so you are able to port your Google Voice number over to a carrier if you decide to leave Google Voice and go somewhere else. And again, Google Voice doesn't have a monthly charge. It is free VoIP calling service. Um, and like I said, one of the things that I took advantage of with Google Voice is that, instead of people having like 5 different numbers for me, which I've shown that I have 5 active services, 3 of them are free lines, 2 of them are on the family plan that I have. Instead of having people take down 5 numbers and building up a really big contact for me, literally just giving them my Google Voice, all those phones ring, my tablet rings, my laptop rings when there's a phone call. So yes, it is cross-device capable. So you can use tablets, laptops, and other mobile devices, including devices on Wi-Fi only, and be able to get these phone calls. So you shouldn't ever miss a call or a text. One of the big downsides to Google Voice is that for some reason Google does not want to have it support RCS messaging, which I think is a huge fail on Google's end. RCS messaging is something that Google is pushing. As a matter of fact, right now, Google has been shooting slugs under the table, trying to get Apple to acknowledge the fact that they should adopt RCS for cross-platform, compatibility and communications. And Apple, basically standing their ground, saying, "Hey, tell your mom buy an iPhone." Now, while that's being said, I feel like that Google is lacking here because if they're all invested in RCS messaging as they're pushing really hard to get Apple to adopt, then that's something that should be implemented into Google Voice, is RCS messaging within there. I mean, Google Voice does have the ability to attach to your carrier number, so it will allow you to make calls through the native dialer app if you want to do it that way. But today's internet connections are so good that having your Google Voice basically use Wi-Fi and data for calls and texting is phenomenally good. And all I gotta say that Google Voice has massive amount of potential, and I really do like using it. It is the service that I use as my main primary number. I just really would love for them to implement RCS messaging. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Google Voice. Do you guys have one? Have you guys ever used it? Will you use it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button. Talk to you on the next one.